Now I'm gonna pack these pint-sized jars with the fish. I'm gonna pack them as tight as I can in there. I need to loosely pack it because there's still a lot of oils and stuff that need to come out of this fish. You know, and as I do this, I'll keep an eye open for any random bones that there might be. I see one already. You can see how I did miss that one. Pretty small. But as I go through this, I'll find some more bones here and there. There'll be more opportunities even after canning to find it. And see how I'm packing that down like that? I'm packing it basically until I don't see any space between the bottom of the canning funnel and the fish. That's pretty good. There's one done. I don't know. Hopefully this will only make 10 pints, because I can't can more than 10 pints at one time. You know, I don't really wanna, like I said, I'd rather have it be less than 10 than more than 10. There were a couple big pieces of this carp fish that didn't really, they weren't smoked as much as they probably should have been. So it's not like I'm gonna be able to snack on it. Probably wouldn't be a safe thing to do. I mean, it'd probably be fine, but don't worry about how this looks, because like I said, it's just gonna come out looking like tuna fish or canned salmon anyway, and you know that stuff ain't pretty. So like, there's two of them. Just keep going here. There's a bone. Another thing I didn't mention earlier is that you have to be kind of careful when... How did that one escape me? Like a pitchfork. To be careful about when you decide this is ready for canning, ready to be worked on, processed. If it's over smoked, then you're going to end up with kind of jerky like fish pieces, and it's going to be hard to get the bones out. And if you don't do it quite long enough, like a couple of those bigger pieces I said I had, and the fish is more like the texture of raw fish, then you won't be able to get the bones out. So I can feel a bone in there. Look at that. You're never going to be able to get all of them. But I will say that I don't think, since I started doing this, I don't think the wife and I have had any bones in the meals that we've made. Have I seen a bone or two here or there emptying a pint out before using it? Yeah, I have. But as far as eating wise, I don't think we've had any bones in our food. So, gosh, I think this might be a perfect amount. I can feel a bone. Where was that? Right there. And there. Two of them. Boy. Yeah, you gotta keep your eyes open. I mean, look at already the bones. that I found doing this now. Look at that. Another one. You know what, when you get this is a little bit of a tedious process, especially when you're doing the separating of the fillets to get the bones out the first time. I took the fish and put it in the fridge and had some supper and then kind of relaxed for a little bit and then let myself kind of get refocused so that when I'm doing this now I'm kind of not as tired of it as I would have been if I would have went into it straight away. So now I can have a fresh pair of eyes. Get them bones out best I can. If I end up with less than 10 pints, which I hope I do, I mean, it'd be awesome if I had like exactly 10, but you never end up exactly what you want quantity wise when you're canning anything. If I do end up with less than 10, then I'll just put a pint of water in the canner. Why do you do that? Pounds per square inch. Take a jar out, you're actually increasing pounds per square inch on all the remaining jars inside. Which could make you lose a jar. Or more. There's an old Atlas jar. Boy, I don't know, it's going to be close. There's a bone. This is the prettiest food ever made. No. I mean, it's not meant to be pretty. But once you taste what the finished product is like, you won't worry about that. Let me record again. So, actually ended up being better than I could have planned it. This one is not tightly packed. So, I got 9 tightly packed pints for the canner. And then, you've seen any of my other videos, I occasionally come across little gems like this. Thick glass, probably from the 50s or 60s, probably 60s. I'm assuming it was a jelly jar. It's not a half pint, but it's not a full. So let's pack this little sucker. That packs nice and tight, which I think it will, then we have done more than what we expected to do. And then that smaller jar, being that it's nice thick glass, should can up properly. Look at that. perfect. Here we go. 10 jars of smoked carp ready for the canner. Here's what they ended up looking like. I had 2 jars that didn't seal. Yeah, the rubber rings probably were no good on those. They only last so long, and I haven't bought rubber rings for a while. These 2-piece reusable, plastic lids with the rubber rings. You gotta replace the rings once in a while, and I don't know. I haven't bought rings for probably a year, but yep, there it is. And that's okay, because then I'll just use those jars to demonstrate in the next segment how to use the stuff. But yeah, it's like I said, it's not pretty stuff, but it's better than canned tuna, better than canned salmon. So got a lot. We got 10 meals out of that. So all right, so I'm gonna use this jar of smoked carp now. One of them that didn't seal, and well, I'll show you how I drain. Usually drain them. I'm gonna throw that ring away because it didn't seal. Probably wasn't on right. You can see that it's kind of kinked. But I just take them and turn them upside down in the sink. See the moisture, the fish oil that's in there? I just turn it upside down because that's all one solid clump. We'll just let it drain that way. I wanted to show you how I get the lids off, but I'm gonna mix that carp with some milkweed in a simple pasta dish, and I just use the $1 packages of pasta meals. I think I have one that's butter and herb, and the other one's like Alfredo or something like that. Like I said, they're only $1 a piece. I'd buy 2 of them, one of the Alfredo, one of the butter and herb, and then I'll just cook them according to the package directions, and then add the carp, and then I've got milkweed from last year yet, so I'll do that. But here's how I open my two-piece reusable lids. Feel for the most exposed part of the ring, right there, and then I just press up with a ring, canning ring. You don't want to use a knife because that's gonna potentially damage that ring that you want to reuse. So I just push up gently. See if you can hear it. There it is. I don't like to use can opener or bottle opener either, because I don't want to put a pointy thing on that plastic. And then you see I used that people paint marker to write the milkweed and the date, and then I'll just wash that off and reuse it. But again, I'll just drink the juice out of this. But I'll let it drain a little too while I'm at it. But anyway, I don't know if I should show me cooking with the stuff or not, but maybe I will, because it is a really cheap, easy, and pretty good meal. And you could do it with, you know, a can of tuna and a can of cheap vegetables if you wanted to. See, I'll show you how I do that too. This is pretty well cooked down to almost being ready. So I want that fish and greens to heat up a little bit in there. I always use a steak knife to get my stuff out of the jars like this. Greens, vegetable, well, you know, not, I guess not like canned corn or anything like that, but to make it easy, and I'm just gonna kind of cut this into chunks. And again, like I mentioned in the previous segment, one of the previous segments, I keep my eyes open for bones. I'm pretty sure I got them all, but just watch. Like I said, this is really good timber for sandwiches too. Tuna fish type sandwiches. Some mayo and this canned smoked rough fish. There we go. I'll just give it a stir. Just make sure everything's evenly mixed up. This is a really good way to use anything that you have canned, honestly. You got canned stuff, a lot of stuff put up, you find yourself in hard times with not very much money. I mean, heck, you got a box of macaroni and cheese up in your cupboard. Hook that up and throw some of your canned stuff in it. I mean, that's practically ready as it is, but I'm going to throw some parm on it. Grated parm. And I get scolded by the fine master chefs for not grating my parm by hand. Just gonna throw some parm on. If you want to get a little fancier, like I've taken some breadcrumbs and put them in there, and then, you know, put it under the broiler and toasted the top. But I'm just gonna do this parm and then some fresh grated pepper, freshly ground, I meant. Pepper on top. Now I got the oven at like, I don't know, 300, something like that. If you had some lemon juice to put on top of this, that'd be good too. I put a bunch of dill in this because it seemed appropriate with it being fish. I'll just throw this in the oven. Let that go for, I don't know, until my wife gets home. She'll be home in about 10 minutes or so. So, easy, quick meal, but yeah, the possibilities are pretty much endless with canned smoked fish. Yum yum.